Evening again, everyone. Owen Fritzen here with you on a Good Friday, I should say. That we're coming live talking about a considerable flash flood warning that's impacting Holmes County right now. And I come live because the sheriff's office put on some information, and that's why we're live here. Now, I know there is some warnings and some watches and stuff going across the bottom of your screen that is not correct. As far as there's some from Illinois, so you're going to have to ignore those. We're working on some testing and things of that nature, but wanted to come live and talk about the flash flooding event here that's going on basically for portions of Holmes County, and what the sheriff's office is saying about that as well. So we're going to give it just a moment here for people to kind of queue up here with the stream if you're just now catching this coming across your feed and the social media channels. But just talking a little bit about flash flooding that is going on in some of these counties, in particular Holmes County being the one that we're looking at right now. So obviously this little line of storm and kind of some almost training thunderstorms being in this area, we do have that flash flood. You can see some of the warnings going across the screen at the bottom. Again, Illinois is still in there. So I apologize for that. We're working on getting that taken out of there. We were doing some testing with that one as well. But flash flooding is occurring in Holmes County, and this flash flood warning for Holmes County goes until 11:45. And law enforcement has reported this. This is tagged considerable. So this is one of the reasons we're coming live on this one. Flash flooding with considerable threat from the National Weather Service. They're saying here local law enforcement has reported thunderstorms producing 1 to 2 inches of rain. Flash flooding is already occurring. Life-threatening flash flooding. Thunderstorms are continuing to report flash flooding throughout the county. Some impacted locations include Millersburg, Berlin, Walnut Creek, Hillbuck, Holmesville, Farmerstown, Winesburg, Charm, and Mount Hope. Significant flooding was reported on all roadways, including on Township Road 129, which has 2 feet of water, and shipping containers are being displaced. So that's what we're looking at here right now in Holmes County. So along with that, the sheriff's office of Holmes County, and please again ignore the tornado watch across the bottom of your screen. We're working on that, getting that fixed. But the sheriff's office of Holmes County has issued a level 2 roadway emergency. So this is very similar to what we see with the with the snow emergencies. It's the same level system. But right here, directly from the post and directly from the message coming out of the sheriff's office, it says that Sheriff Zimmerly has issued a level 2 road emergency for flooded roadways in Holmes County. There are numerous flooded roads and trees down throughout the county. Turn around, don't drown. So that's kind of what he had said, and that's not something that we see very often. And this is basically the sheriff's office in Holmes County saying, hey, this is a warning for you. Please don't go out unless you need to go out because of the flooded roadways. The sheriff's offices across Ohio all kind of have their own way that they use that level 1, 2, and 3. It mainly had come out for snow emergencies, but they do and can use it for other emergencies. And again, when we look at the actual system, there is nothing in the law that says that they have to issue it or they do issue it and that sort of thing. The only thing it says is the sheriff has the authority to close the roadways, but they use the level 1, 2, and 3 as an advisory system, and not every county uses it. Some people use it for situations like this. Some people only use it for snow, and some people don't use it at all. So it just depends. But in this particular case, because of some of these thunderstorms that they continue to get whacked there in Holmes County, they issued a level 2 roadway emergency due to flooded roadways, and again, up to 2 feet in some areas, and they're seeing some shipping containers displaced. That's coming right out of the text from the National Weather Service. So that's a very interesting concept. Also around this, let's kind of drag this down here. We do have some other flash flood warnings with that line of storms that's still there, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning as well. But looking at this northern flash flood warning, this goes until 11:15. And this is for portions of Ashland County, northern Richland, southeastern Medina, northwestern Stark, and southern Summit. And there's Wayne County, too. I forgot to see that. Wayne County, they're right in the center. That goes until 11:15. And then we have this secondary flash flood warning that goes until midnight tonight. And this one did include portions of Holmes County, but they reissued another one because of law enforcement reports. So southeastern Ashland County, northern Knox County, northeastern Morrow County, southern Richland County, western Holmes, and southern Wayne County is in this as well. And then, like I said, they went ahead and reissued the flash flood warning for portions of Holmes County and tagged that considerable. So yeah, there is no surprise that flooding is occurring everywhere, pretty much across the Buckeye State. We're getting a lot of water everywhere, but in this particular case, we came live because of the fact that the Sheriff's Office had issued that level 2 roadway emergency due to flooded roadways, asking people to stay off the roads because there is life-threatening flooding that is occurring in Holmes County. So like I said, there's some areas where up to 2 feet of water that they have seen and more. There continues to be a lot of flooding reports throughout that area. And again, the Sheriff's Office has asked people to stay off the roadways if at all possible and to turn around, don't drown. Also, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here just to the south of Holmes County. Kind of go ahead and read that. Proportions of Tuscarawas and Coshocton counties. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning here down for you that goes until 10:15. This is for, again, northeastern Coshocton County and southwestern Tuscarawas County until 10:15. This is moving a storm cell, I should say. It's moving very slow, only 25 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail are possible with this particular cell. We are, again, seeing a little bit of hail, and you could see some lightning embedded with this as well. We're seeing probably a little bit of small hail inside of this storm, just outside of Warsaw, moving kind of to the east-northeast a little bit here as this continues to pass. And kind of zooming out here, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning as well. This is kind of moved kind of as a moving slow line, if you will. And tomorrow we do have a threat as well. But as this line continues to move out, we're continuing to watch this here. I'm trying to see. This one goes to 9:45, and they may have canceled that one. I think that one might be canceled because I'm not seeing it on another screen. So this one may have actually been canceled, but there was a threat there, the tornado possible. We'll kind of just read it in anyway. It has another 5 minutes on it. But earlier there was a little bit of rotation in this storm that was just kind of south of Wapakoneta, and now it's over in Kenton in the Ada area, kind of moving off to the north. We're watching that. It was, as you can see, there indicated tornado possible from earlier. Let's go ahead and flip on here, get a little bit hyper-local on some of this. I'll turn off some radar and turn on the Cleveland radar site for us to take a little bit better look at this. And we'll go ahead and flip into our storm relative velocity, taking out the movement of the storm. And there's some broad rotation within it, but most of that storm cell is actually out of severe thunderstorm warning at this point. But there was a little bit of rotation earlier with that storm cell. Now, I will say that the tornado warning earlier over in Indiana that we're keeping an eye on, luckily that has weakened and pretty much moved out of the area. Now we are keeping an eye on this as we get into the overnight hours. Not expecting a ton in the way of any tornado warnings by any stretch, but it's isolated threat. And again, a few more isolated threats of some severe thunderstorm warnings along this line. Now I will say overnight tonight, you're going to hear some pretty big thunder booms with the wedge of warm air on the lower portion of the atmosphere, but we're going to be hearing some pretty big, loud thunder boomers tonight. So if you like thunder and lightning, it's probably going to be the night for you in portions of these areas. And I know, depending on where you're at, even in southern Ohio, they can see the lightning strikes. I got lightning turned on for you right now, and I'm actually going to turn that off to clean up the radar just a little bit. But again, I just wanted to come live real quick to tell you, obviously, we know that there is flooding going on everywhere, but in particular, I just wanted to come alive and talk about the flash flooding that was a flash flood warning that was issued for Holmes County, because again, we had an original flash flood warning, and then we had another issuance of a flash flood warning within it due to the fact that it was reported by law enforcement, and again, this was tagged considerable. So we are looking at that, some reports coming in out of the sheriff's office here. And again, this flash flood warning goes until 11:45. They tagged it considerable. And due to law enforcement reports, They're saying up to 2 feet of water. Here's a local storm report from the emergency management. It says 2 feet of water is reported over Township Road 91. Shipping containers are flowing down the road. That one I didn't see, so that's a little bit of updated information on that. And then over 2 feet of water on County Road 129 and County Road 58. So there's flash flooding, and in addition to that for Holmes County, again, the sheriff's office has issued a statement. Basically, Sheriff Zimmerly has issued a level 2 road emergency for flooded roadways in Holmes County. There are numerous flooded roadways and trees down throughout the county. Turn around, don't drown, was the statement that the sheriff's office has put out a few minutes ago. Now, also with this particular storm cell, we do want to say that, again, there's some severe thunderstorm warnings on it. I do apologize. The tornado watches for portions of Illinois, I said that kind of at the top. That is not for Ohio. We are doing trying to figure out how to get that turned off. A little bit of a technical glitch there. We got it turned on in our program, so we're trying to get that turned off in our programming, I should say. But sorry about that. So just ignore that tornado watch. It'll be fixed here shortly as we head through the overnight hours. But for right now, we're just leaving it on due to the other flash flooding. We want to at least have the ticker going for now. But we are aware of that situation, and it will get fixed here as we move into the overnight hours. So pretty much I'll kind of zoom out and I'll kind of talk a little bit about some model data real quick so you can kind of see what's going on. I'll turn this off, the radar off, and I'm just actually going to turn off all the layers here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to clear everything here, and I'm actually going to turn off that particular ticker so you don't see it. And let's look at some model data for tomorrow. I'll start off with the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. They pretty much at this point have a majority of Ohio is either in the slight risk, or actually all of Ohio is either in the slight risk or the marginal risk. But I would say a majority of Ohio is obviously in the slight risk, which is yellow on your screen, which is a level 2 of 5 for severe weather tomorrow. By all means, this is going to be kind of scattered, not going to be totally widespread. I wouldn't get overly excited, but just do make sure you keep that in the back of your mind as we head throughout tomorrow. Could be a little bit bumpy for some of your plans tomorrow, especially if they're outside. But that is this category outlook. We're waiting to see if the Storm Prediction Center does an upgrade. I wouldn't be surprised if they introduce the enhanced risk. We're kind of waiting that to be introduced if they do overnight tonight, right around midnight or so, if they were to issue that. So that's what we're looking at. Let's turn on some of the model data for us here as we get into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. Let's just look at kind of our reflectivity view. You kind of see here, this is the model, and I'll back up the model to now. Basically, I kind of ran it ahead a little bit ago. So kind of looking here right now, you kind of see this popcorn type storms going across Ohio. And as we head into the overnight, tonight, some of these storms and maybe some of these training thunderstorms, which continues to hit the same area over and over again. And you'll see some flash flooding continuing here throughout Ohio. As this front kind of lifts off to the north, we see a cold front coming in behind it tomorrow. This is 1 o'clock overnight tonight. Again, definitely going to see some thunder bumpers as this line moves through, especially across northern Ohio. You're probably going to hear it. And as it continues to move off here, this is at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're looking for this line. I'll zoom out. We're waiting for this line out here. This is the line that we're keeping our eyes on for tomorrow. And let's go ahead and advance this a few hours here. And that line starts to set itself up right around the noon hour over Indiana. And here's 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. That's the line. That's the setup kind of matching up here. Again, if we turn on that category outlook, kind of lining up right with as it starts to intensify here in the afternoon hours. So that's matching up quite nicely with what they're saying here. And that's kind of where we're going to have to start to see some things here right around 2 o'clock. 1 to 2 o'clock is the current timing. Maybe a little bit quicker than that, but actually I'm thinking it's slowing down a little bit, so maybe a little bit later. I think this is a little bit off because most of these storms are moving a lot slower, and tomorrow the same situation. These storms are not going to move that quickly, bringing more and more rain that we really don't need in most portions of Ohio. So that's kind of our model look here for 2 o'clock tomorrow as it kind of races across Ohio. I shouldn't say races across Ohio. Snail's pace across Ohio tomorrow. That kind of lines up with that slight risk Again, as that front moves through, gusty winds, and you're going to see some pretty good lightning with that, but mainly gusty winds being the complete threat that we're seeing tomorrow. Again, we always have that isolated threat of a tornado. So with that being said, I just wanted to come live real quick and kind of show you that information and go over that information in particular about Holmes County, because I found that to be, we don't see that hardly at all. And it was very interesting to see that statement being issued again from the sheriff's office in Holmes County. So if you're catching the tail end of this video, we were talking about a flash flood warning for Holmes County due to 2 feet of roadways across 2 feet of water across the roadways in some areas, and also we were seeing a statement that was put out by the sheriff's office stating that, hey, there is a level 2 roadway emergency issued for Holmes County, asking residents not to go out if they don't need to, due to the fact that they're seeing flooded roadways, and basically asking people just not to go out, turn around, don't drown. And we ask that people do the same thing because we don't want to have to put first responders' lives in danger. It's not exactly what we would want to do, and I hope you wouldn't either. So with the rest of this, you could see a few storms get cranky overnight tonight. We do, again, have the severe thunderstorm warning going to impact New Philadelphia here shortly. This one goes until 10:15. Way it looks right now, there's definitely some small hail within this storm cell, and max wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. So it's kind of looking there a little bit cranky. And some of these other cells, too, especially here, one just over in Knox County, just north of Danville. This one has some hail inside of this one as well. You can see that deep, dark purple there. And again, most of these areas getting more rain that they don't need right now. So it's kind of crazy. We don't need any more rain, especially across northern Ohio, due to the flooded roadways. So with that being said, wrapping up here again, we're continuing also to monitor the situations that come in out of Holmes County. We'll provide updates as we need to across our social media platforms. And again, we will continue to come back live as we need to throughout the overnight hours if we need to, and probably be live at some point tomorrow for severe weather coverage in the afternoon due to those severe thunderstorms heading out across tomorrow. We'll again post updates again across our social media channels. Please do me a favor, overnight tonight into tomorrow and throughout the weekend, please turn around, don't drown, don't go around barricades, keep our first responders safe, and don't drive or walk through flooded roadways.